This patch is basically what you think it is. For some people that will be pretty bad, for some people that will be pretty fine. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm especially looking forward to the story because I may have been on the money with that. Oh, and also, Glamour is completely changing in Final Fantasy XIV. We have a lot to talk about because most Glamour restrictions are now gone. Hello everybody, it's your boy Jmulls, and more Queen's Fiend thumbnails are on the way.
As Queen?
Patch 7.4 is entitled Into the Mist, with the key art being based on the Arcadian Raid series that will be seeing its final tier with this patch. And while the patch itself is coming out on December 16th, the Savage tier is being delayed until after New Year's on January 6th. Yoshi P didn't want to have to deal with a bunch of upset raiders, I guess. For the main story, we are resuming the old patch cadence, where 1 to 3 served as the finale of the story for the expansion, and Point 4 and Point 5 acts as a bridge to get us into the next expansion. And Point 4's MSQ is the start of this move into the next expansion, 8.0. But it does something that I was talking about that they could do. We go back to Alexandria and meet up again with Sphene. Yes! And venture to what looks like living memory, though according to the Final Fantasy XIV Reddit Discord translation, link in the description, Yoshi P says for at least the final screenshot shown, he doesn't think it's living memory. But it does seem as if our main group will consist of the following: the Warrior of Light, Sphene, Kryl, Y'shtola, and G'raha. Wu-Klamot and the other scions were not shown. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if we go to another city based in Final Fantasy IX, like Lindblum or something along those lines. We'll have to wait and see, but to me, Sphene always felt, ever since Point 2, like a long-term character for the story. But with her becoming queen in Point 3, it was honestly 50-50 whether or not she was going to be put immediately back into the story or be kind of put on ice similar to Zero and Golbez. Seems I'll have plenty of opportunities for more thumbnails. Beautiful. We get more Hildebrand quests, which look wild as ever, and the Arcadian tier itself, which is sporting a cool Colosseum vibe for at least one of the fights. I've been really enjoying the Arcadian raid story, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing how it all wraps up. And the new dungeon, well, it's a Final Fantasy XIV dungeon, but its aesthetic looks sick. It's called Mistwake, and it has this red digitized skybox overlooking some city streets and what looks like a train station, which probably segues naturally into the trial for the patch, which was revealed to be a giant train. Good God, it looks crazy. Hell on Rails, get it, is the name, and I don't even know what to say. I mean, it's a giant train that looks more terrified than anything. We're getting 2 new duty supports for, look, I'm never gonna get this thing's name right, Zamail, Darkhold, and Aurum Vale. We're getting some PvP updates, including Series 10, some PvP action adjustments, and a new frontline map campaign called Warcore Shata. It's PvP. Now, a weird one, but a welcome one to me, is Air Force One in the Gold Saucers being updated with the Ciel d'Alias. We're gonna go with that. One of my all-time favorite Gold Saucer events, and it's nice to see it getting some love. Now, while we do have to wait until Point 5 for the actual new zone for the Occult Crescent is seeing some rather minor updates in Point 4. 3 new Phantom jobs, Mystic Knight, Dancer, and Gladiator, are being implemented alongside some other additions. Like elements for the Occult Crescent, not new Phantom jobs, getting only the 3. New beneficial accessories are being added. There's 4 pieces for Disciples of War and Magic each that increase character attributes while in the Occult Crescent, and you get them from a few sources, but they are supposedly rare. Critical encounters, treasure chests, magic pots, and happy bunnies are going to be what you're aiming for. And a new Dawntrail Patch means another star to explore in cosmic exploration, this time Oasis. And it has some ruins or remnants from some ancient civilization that you'll be learning about over the course of this chapter of cosmic exploration. And alongside some rather standard updates you kind of expect with this, enhancements to cosmic tools, etc., there's now a sequential mission completion bonus, and you have a new mechanic entitled Ruin Exploration, where you'll be learning about the history of the planet, and turn in various artifacts and bits that you find for what they call a range of items. Now, for the WoW players in the audience, this does kind of remind me of archaeology. At least conceptually, we'll have to wait and see. Now, they have to know I've been slacking on cosmic exploration because they added a Glamour set that looks like Rex from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, so you know I have to freaking get that one. Oh!
As Queen?
The variant dungeon is the star of patch 7.4, like the deep dungeon was for 7.3, entitled The Merchant's Tale, not the Catgirl kind. Well, actually, kind of. You see, you'll find yourself venturing into a book alongside apparently a relative of Y'shtola, and it's this very cartoony looking world, bright and colorful, and while the normal mode does kind of read as just a variant dungeon, the new additions come in the other difficulty modes. Yes, plural. So now, the next tier above normal variant is entitled Variant Dungeon Advanced. You forego the exploration of the dungeon, and you just focus on the bosses. You can do them in any order, and unlike normal variant, you will need a group, requiring at least a party of 2 all the way to 4 players. The final tier is Criterion, and your revival methods are limited, and the bosses must be defeated in a set order. So in Advanced, you can do them in whatever order you want. It's fixed in Criterion. You'll need a party of 4, a tank, a healer, and 2 DPS, and the bosses will be harder. But, just like Advanced, it's only the bosses, no exploration, bosses only. Advanced and Criterion can only be done at level 100. However, the normal variant dungeon that has exploration can be done from level 90 to 100. It just sinks you to 100, so you can use this for leveling. Glamour sets don't do anything for me, but we get a giant flying carpet, which better be a 2-seater is all I'm saying. Massively missed opportunity if it isn't. Now, normally that's where the bulk of interesting announcements end. However, the biggest announcement of 7.4 has yet to come. But in the meantime, we get 2 new UI themes, a green one and a white one. Cool. But the strategy board, basically raid plan, is being implemented. And they didn't show much of it here, so we'll have to wait for the next live stream, but looks, fine to me. Another thing, so you know how you can make a macro to hide certain hotbars? So you can throw a bunch of things like gear sets onto them so they don't clutter up your screen all the time. Okay, so they're making that an actual UI item called a command panel. It's a 5x5 dump of extra slots to throw a bunch of stuff like emotes, gear sets, emotes. Let's face it, people are going to use this thing primarily for emotes. And there's 4 tabs. You just whack it onto your hotbar and it'll open up the command panel, and then you can minimize it when you're done with it. Look, you can get similar functionality with hotbars and macros, but it's nice to see this being baseline. And now for the big one. Glamour restrictions are being taken out back and just shot. They didn't mention any remaining gender-locked gear, or at least I didn't see it, but any glamour can now be used regardless of any prior class, job, or level restrictions. The only exceptions, it seems, are weapons, because of animations. So if you want to be a Reaper, you can now wear Dark Knight armor sets, you just still have to be using a scythe. I don't know about you guys, but I'm in desperate need of some near raid clears to get some bits that I didn't have before. This changes Glamour basically entirely for so many people. And the impetus for the game actually doing this was, funnily enough, related to modding. Remember that post that Yoshi P made not too long back regarding modding? Well, now you won't have to use mods to get this functionality, it's just baseline. Look, I know some people don't care about Glamour, but this will breathe so much more life into the game for quite a few people that love to tinker with the fashion in this game, and it opens the door to so many different combinations and just ideas. It really can't be stated just how seismic of a change this is for so many people.
As queen?
Now, I am looking forward to the patch. I am. I'm very much looking forward to Hildebrand. I'm very much looking forward to the new tier for the raid. I am very much looking forward to, especially the MSQ. I love the stories in point 2 and point 3. I am very much looking forward to point 4 in that regard. I look forward to trying out the new variant dungeon. It looks kind of interesting. I hope the rewards are better than the previous ones. Getting things like the raid planner, cool. Lifting glamour restrictions, cool. The command panel, cool. It does kind of feel like just another Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail patch, which is kind of to be expected. I don't think anyone is really expecting anything other than this. And this does kind of give off the energy of a patch that quite a few people are going to play for about a week and then not touch the game for another 4 months. It doesn't address any of the core issues a lot of people, myself included, have with the overall game state, but it was also never going to. I think the best version of point 4 that can possibly be is having a banger storyline, a banger raid, and for variant dungeon to really work out the kinks with the reward structures that variant dungeons have been struggling with up to this point in time. Lay the groundwork for things to come. Point 2 and point 3 were really good for the story. The storytelling got way better. The vibes were far better than point 1 and point 0. Continue that trend. And yes, it's the start of a new narrative arc in a way, and while they have said previously it might be a little bit of a slower patch, that doesn't mean it has to be a bad patch narratively, and it can still be a fascinating patch. I mean, after all, we're fighting a freaking train. How slow can it be? Just get the vibes right for the story, and I think it's going to be largely fine. I don't think this patch is going to really move the needle for a lot of people when it comes to the actual content being presented with this patch. If the needle gets moved for people, I imagine it will come from either the variant dungeon being surprisingly good, or them knocking it out of the park when it comes to the story. This is a patch that I'm largely looking forward to because of the story. But I will say, I am very much looking forward to it. It may not last me too long, but I imagine what I end up playing of this patch, I will be enjoying quite a lot.
As queen?
I am very much optimistic about point 4. It may not have the most staying power for a lot of people, it may not end up being the most memorable patch of all time for the game, but I do think it can do a lot of good if it executes on the things that it is doing well, and it can lay the groundwork for a lot of interesting things to come, especially when it comes to the story. I think keeping Sphene around and continuing that storyline is absolutely the right call, not just because I called it, okay, partly that, but to me she's also easily the best character to come out of Dawntrail. Makes sense to keep her around. So here's where you come in. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts, your opinions on this patch. Are you looking forward to it? Do you still want to see more out of this game? Are you disappointed by anything? How do you feel about the glamour changes? I would love to hear your thoughts, hear your opinions, and hear your perspectives. And while you're down there, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out and helps support future content, and I greatly appreciate it. And we had some wild, crazy hot takes and theories, and we reacted to them. Your hot takes for Final Fantasy XIV. And if you want to find out how wild some people's imaginations are, well, I think the title for this video says more than I ever could. Thank you all for tuning in. Stay safe, have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye, everybody. Until we meet again.